just dropping that on the bait runner. The maize, obviously I'm not going to put them all down the same hole. Well, it's the morning of day 3. There's the games room. There's some catfishing gear waiting to get used. There's the cradle that thankfully we used yesterday. Loads of maize left, as you can see. Plenty there to keep us going. No time for pool today, I don't think. It's pretty cool at the moment, but we know it's going to get red hot again. And there's the river, flat calm again. We did get a bit of a breeze on it last night, but that was really late on, not gone 9 o'clock. Not sure if that's going to make any difference whatsoever, but the peg's currently in the shade at the moment. Looks like it's going to be another interesting day. Well, as you can imagine, it's the height of summer. I had a visit from a mosquito. Look at that. I thought I'd done well avoiding them so far, but that one's got me right on the eye. So hopefully that's not going to swell up more. There's a few bubbles coming up here. Down this margin here, just there, I don't want to go right on the edge. You see where those trees are? Yesterday I actually took time out to, at the end of the session, to actually get the boat out. And I went down that margin. It's only about 4 or 5 metres down to the left. And I actually fed it with some of this. That is what they usually feed here for the carp. In there it's a bit of, it's like pigeon conditioner. There's bits of all sorts in there, to be fair. A bit of corn, some maize in there. And I fed that when I packed up yesterday quite heavily. And I also put some maize down there as well. Now my biggest concern about that line is that it's still in relatively, it's not deep water, but I've got a feeling the bream might be there. The bream might have come in and mopped that up. I don't know. So that's what today's going to be all about. It's been an interesting week so far. When we first arrived here, you know, we really got an idea of how many bream there are here and how they can affect the fishing. Yesterday I was fortunate to hook and land a fantastic catfish. That was fantastic on just normal match gear that I use back home for my bream fishing and stuff. And that's part of what this trip's all about. Just trying to see what we can hook and potentially land on our day-to-day tattle. So today I'm going to be focusing more than anything down this margin, just to see if we can find a carp. Regardless of what happens, I've got some fish fizzing out there. The main line that I've been fishing is about 12 metres, and you could probably just about make out on this camera that there's some fizzing going on there. So I'm more than, you know, expecting to catch bream there if I fish for them, particularly with single maize. If you put single maize on, you can get a bream every single cast, and that's even with heavy gear on. So today is going to be kind of feeling my way into it. I'm going to tattle that margin, and it's going to be all about big baits, I think, where I'm really going to try and target a proper carp. So I've got virtually the same setup as yesterday, just a free running bomb. That's stopped by a number 4 stot, and then I've got the same hook length on as yesterday on a hair rig, and I've actually got 2 pieces of maize on a hair rig. That's what I'm going to kick off with. The same rig that I had on yesterday. The only changes that I've made is I've now got a butt grip to actually grip the rod, because I'm fishing at such short range. I'm obviously fishing with a drag set, you know, loose anyway, so any powerful fish on that hook can power off out of the peg. But I've got the butt holder there, which is going to grip the butt of the rod just in case I get caught off guard. And the other thing I've done is, instead of fishing with a 30-gram bomb, I've actually switched that for a 17.5-gram bottle bomb, just because obviously I don't need all that weight. I'm only casting there. It's quite shallow and there's no flow, so I don't need a heavy bomb. I'm sure if there's bream there, which I strongly suspect, then we'll be getting indications on the tip immediately. Well, there we go, that's gone straight away. I've just had a pull there straight away. It's not hooked, but something's just had a go at that straight away. I'm hoping by fishing with 2 pieces of maize, that's going to deter any really small fish. But yeah, I'm getting indications there now. Is that one on? Yes, we're into a fish straight away. That didn't take long, did it? I'm expecting them bubbles to be bream or skimmers. Is that what it is, or is it? There are hybrids in here as well. Yep, that's what it is. Well, if there were going to be some there, I didn't think they'd come quite as quick as that. And that was on 2 pieces. I thought 2 pieces, if there were bream there, Thought 2 pieces would have taken a little bit longer for a fish like that to take the bait, but well, we're off the mark anyway. We know there's some fish there. Indications there straight away. I'm not going to pick up unless I think the fish is on. We've got really robust bait. It's still fizzing down there. There are obviously lots of bream down there. That tip's just rattling away, that's on. There we go. There's obviously quite a few fish down there already, but it is still really nice and shady down here. These really are beautiful fish. We're not targeting them at the moment, but see that one, 2 pieces of the maize. They're beautiful fish, aren't they? Just going to persevere with it. Just keep dropping it in. I find it hard to believe that when there's so many bream like that feeding in an area that's so, you know, it's undercover, it's near the trees, overhanging, it's shady, it's deep, or there's a bit of depth there. I find it hard to believe that that's not going to attract the attentions of carp as well. So just going to persevere for the next half hour or so, see if we keep catching them, or see if we can pick off a bigger fish in between the bream. As soon as the bomb hit the bottom, it nailed it, no messing. Well, I think it's safe to say that there's loads of those down there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did yesterday before I caught that cat. Is I'm just going to step up the feed. I've got loads of this maize to feed. I've got loads, so I'm going to up the amount that I'm putting in. The reason why I'm doing that is, one is so that to try and help the chances of the bream not mopping everything up. I don't know how many bream are down there, but if I put so much in that they can't eat everything, at least it means that if there's any carp kicking about or catfish, that they're going to get a look in. You know, there's going to be some food there for them, and it might feed them off. I don't know, we'll find out. So I'm going to up the amount that I'm putting in. I'll stick to 2 pieces of maize, and then if that doesn't work, all I'll do then is I'll switch to I've got some 12mm wafters and some 15mm wafters, just like I did yesterday, and just see if that'll pick out any better fish. A good helping of maize down that margin, and I'm going to up the amount now. Obviously it's much easier being able to reach this by hand. Bream again, I think. They're out in force today. I'm going to put another line in. I think I'm going to feed really heavy back on that 12-metre line where I've fished for the last couple of days, just so I've got 2 spots. These bream are mopping everything up. If I feed heavy in one spot, just there, it might keep a lot of the bream out there and leave this area up. That's the thinking, but it depends how many bream are there. There might simply be so many that they'll be able to cover both areas and dominate. It's worth a try. 12 o'clock lunchtime. I'm going to put a load of gear in at 12 metres, but still keep this line fed, and obviously I can drop on that at any stage. There's the mix. There's 15 balls of ground bait there. In there has gone some of that pigeon conditioner, the stuff that they use for the carp here, and then over the top of that, because I'm only putting it at 12 metres, I'm going to put these 15 balls in there, and then I can loose feed by hand some maize over the top just by hand. Just feeding them where I can drop a bomb over the top and loose feed the maize. Obviously I'm not going to put them all down the same hole. Spread it over a bit of an area, and it does get deeper past that point, so I'm just dropping them back a little bit shorter. Then over that I can put maize just by the handful. Because this is bigger and heavier than corn, you can obviously throw it further. And that should be enough for a shoulder bream, I reckon. For a while anyway. Jim's just arrived. He's captain. We're heading over there now. We're just going to put this this catfish gear out there. He's the man. He's showing me what to do now. All I've got to do is get on this boat without going swimming. So
Sit there, mate.
We're in. Okay. We're all motored up for this trip, not like mine down the margins last night. We've got the motor on, life vest on, as you can imagine. Right, what distance is it over here, Jim?
About 150 yards, Jamie.
150 yards. And why, I've got to ask this, why, when we've got all this water in front of us, we've got these amazing features behind me, all down our bank, why are we having to present a bait over here?
Because the main feature is a big tree. You'll see it when we get over there. And the tree's in 20 foot of water.
Right.
There's a lot of branches, and the catfish love to hide in the branches in the day.
Got you.
If you put a live bait or a big pellet close to where they're hiding, they'll just entice them out.
Got you.
Yeah.
And I've got to ask then, because we're presenting a bait there, could that cause issues if we get a run?
Well, if you fish too close to the snag, yeah, possibly, but we'll fish maybe 20 foot off the snags.
Right.
And we'll fish a real tight clutch when we get back to land. So
got you.
And the catfish, they're not like carp. When a carp head towards a snag, a catfish will head towards deep water. So chances are the catfish will head towards deep water.
I didn't know that. Right, so that could work in his favour.
Yeah, it will.
Right.
Yeah. It's very rare a catfish will head towards a snag.
Right. It's an absolutely stunning bit of river, as you can see. What sort of depth have we got here underneath this boat now?
34 foot right now.
34 foot, that's in the middle. So we're going to present this out there. There isn't much flow here, but it's going to be a back lead job as well, isn't it?
Yeah, back lead, because we've got rowers and other boat users, so you've got to respect everyone else on the river, so we put a back lead on. Yeah.
So here we are. Where's the tree? Oh, is that right?
That's the tree. That fell in about 2 years ago.
Right.
And it's a big old tree.
Yeah.
So you can only see maybe half of it above the water. The other half is under the water.
Right.
So it's a paradise for catfish. They love it just hiding in the deep water in the snags.
You couldn't pick that out from other bank, could you? You couldn't see that.
No.
If you you can only find that by getting over here, can't you?
That's right. Yeah.
You can see them shady areas over there now. As that sun's going to be moving that way now, isn't it?
That's right, mate. It's going that way.
So the sun's going that way, so all this bank is increasingly going to be in the shade as well as the afternoon goes on.
So we're going to drop this rod in 24 foot of water.
Right. I gather you know this bit, that it's clear from, the best place to drop it, I gather, don't you?
Yeah. I've had echo sounders, cameras down, so I know exactly how far the branches come down.
Right.
A bit of fizz in there.
I was going to say, I just spotted all them bubbles coming up there.
That'd be a carp, that.
Will it? Right.
Yeah, carp run.
Just dropping that on the bait runner.
Yeah, if it drops it an open bail arm, there's a chance of it could tangle on the way in.
Right.
Down.
So that's down, that's it, the deck now.
Yeah, I'm going to position the boat.
Not too close to that tree, but obviously close enough for a bit of cover. We obviously want to have a chance.
We're going to head back to land now.
He's done this before. Just feeding the line off, or braid, is it?
Well, we're still on the lead. I've got a 70 pound mono leader.
70 pound mono leader, right.
And, it's 80 to 80 pound braid.
80 pound braid. I gather you need that braid. Did you say that's because of stretch?
Yeah.
Picking it up over such a long way.
Yeah. Sometimes, but it's not much flow at the moment. When there's a lot of flow, you need very minimal stretch, really.
Back to base, back in dock. Almost done. Let's get this fastened on here. Just to pin it all down.
This is a 3 ounce back lead.
Okay.
And a paper clip.
On a paper clip, so that'll break free.
That'll break free if it hits a snag. And we'll just roll it down. We'll put it in deeper water.
So that's going to pin everything down out of the way. Away from boat traffic and everything. And the flow as well, even though we haven't got much today. And then that's going on there. Ready to scream off if we hook one. And that's it, trap set. It's back to a bit of shade now. I've still got the cat rod out, so what's actually going to happen is I've had a quick chat with Jim and just asked him what he uses here when he's trying to avoid the bream, when he's trying to target carp. He sticks to the maize basically, but he puts multiples on a much longer hair, and that's not something I've done. I've gone up to 2 pieces, but obviously the bream is still able to get, certainly those 2 and 3 pounders are still able to eat that sort of a bait. So I've just retreated to the tattle den where I've got all my hook tying gear here. The cat rod's still out, that's still right the way underneath that other bank. I'm going to tie up some longer hairs because the plan for today now is leave the cat rod out. I'm going to feed very, very heavy down this left hand margin that you've seen me feed before. I'm going to feed it with maize and only maize, and then I'm going to fish multiple pieces of maize on a longer hair tomorrow. Hopefully that'll deter the bream. and I'm going to feed that last thing just before I retire for the evening, and I will be back here very early tomorrow morning, because that is ideally the best time to target these bigger carp. But the bream fishing is fantastic. I could get a bream every single cast, so that's what I'm going to do. That is the plan for now. So today it's been interesting to see that the specimen catfish gear go out there and how to present it out there, which was an amazing insight. And then I've done a little bit more research on how to feed for these carp, so I'm going to do that ready for tomorrow. And then I'm going to also put a bream line in tomorrow, a pretty much a catch anything type of a line tomorrow. So I will be going to bed early tonight. I'm going to get these rigs tied up, and I'm going to be up really early in the morning, where I'm going to be targeting this margin exclusively for carp. Oh no, it's come off!
Oh, look at those bubbles, that's a big fish.